You had a bad mic last time.
Oh, well then.
And this time we can't say that you're in space. Shawn, welcome back.
Good morning. We're recording at
Thank
3 a.m. No. Shawn is our second guest.
Repeat offender.
Our first return guest.
How does that feel?
Yeah, last time Shawn was on, I added all this stuff that
I feel
he sounded
honored.
kind of like he was kind of in space, so I added some Major Shawn kind of stuff, and I had to take it out when we reposted because I wasn't sure if that got
ground control.
Careful, because I wasn't sure if that tripped off the. It was a parody. I don't know.
We haven't been yanked from our podcast host for that yet.
Wrong, Dangerfield. We're yanking you now. You're listening to Time to Lean, and here's a song, courtesy of BaronStylesPodsprout.com, featuring John and Phil and special guest Danger Shawn.
If it's a parody, it's protected. So
Yeah, I know, but we got booted for some reason last time.
in this country,
I am quite certain it's because we posted a cover of "Come Together" by the Beatles.
which I feel bad about because I was. I was.
No,
involved
that
in
was
all
probably my
Shawn's fault.
idea. So yeah.
No, it was Shawn's fault.
It was all my fault.
But I think I took that out when we re-released it. I think I took out a lot of the Major Shawn stuff, which was too bad. It was, a little David Bowie. Oh, well. Bowie?
Tribute.
What was that noise?
Bowie.
It's a cat?
Oh, that was my cat, little fucker.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is your cat
Not
hungry?
that little. No, I think he's bitching because he hasn't been fed.
Ah, that sounds like a common
Don't
cat
you
complaint.
know? Don't you know we're trying to podcast?
Cats
don't care.
God, they're such assholes.
They are.
Cats are assholes.
Well, why don't you reintroduce Shawn, and I'm gonna.
Me?
Yeah.
Hi, Shawn. Oh, I'm going to
feed the
reintroduce
cat
him?
So he shuts up.
Hi.
Shawn is, well, he's one of our old friends. And he's getting older, and we're all getting older. And we met many years
I'm
ago.
a little younger than you guys, though, but not by much.
And you just always hang that over us. You lord it over us. I'm always a little younger than you, but someday you might not be.
True.
That was dark.
Once time
Okay,
and
so-
space start to collapse.
Well, if you live longer than us, you'll be older than us. So Shawn grew up unlike many of our guests, Shawn grew up in Wyoming, Laramie. No, I'm sorry. Worthington. No.
Torrington.
Torrington.
Tunnington.
We went over this last time, but it could be that
Probably.
those people have stopped listening and other people started.
We did have some new listeners, I've noticed, or at least new commenters, like Red. Red commented quite a bit. Hi, Red.
Does he have
Hi,
a
Red.
pizza place?
No, it's a she.
Oh, okay.
Ironically, she has red hair, but maybe that's why.
That's ironic.
No, it isn't. It was ironic that I said ironic. So anyway, Shawn grew up in Wyoming, was tormented by turkeys, and I don't know.
I was, but only
Yeah.
when I was 7. But I still hate turkeys.
Had a paperclip collection. Shawn's
There's
favorite
this
holiday is
ad.
Thanksgiving.
There's an ad for like a cold. It's like it's supposed to help you quit smoking. So cold turkey. It's got.
Oh
these
God, I
animated
see those
turkeys
all
in
the
it.
time.
I hate it.
They're terrible.
I'm always looking at
With
it.
that-
going,
with that-
the other
that
night I was
crappy
looking at it. and
CG
just-
turkey.
They're making it. Yeah, it's really crappy animation, and they're making them look all sort of whimsical and cozy. And I'm just looking at it, going, "Fucking turkey."
No, it's like an animatronic plastic turkey.
They look terrible.
Oh.
They have these unrealistically gigantic cartoony eyes, and they look terrible.
Yeah, and they're wearing clothes.
I never needed to wear clothes. Hi, kids.
So wearing
What?
clothes and
Yeah,
doing
they
stuff
live in
with
a
their
house,
wings
and
as if they're hands.
It's actually one. I think it's
Throw snowballs at each other, and
Are there more? Is there a family of them, or is there just the one kind of androgynous-looking turkey?
I think there's one where there's like two of them. There's also one where there's two of them because one is like buying a magazine from a newsstand.
Oh,
like that ever
yep.
happens.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that a couple of times on MSNBC.
Yeah. Yeah, we keep seeing them on CBS.
Had to put it in a brown paper bag.
Oh, I suppose you see those
Yeah.
when you're watching Star Trek Picard.
We do. In fact,
Oh, I'm jealous.
They show
Just-
the same
we
ad
went
every
through-
break, I think.
we were catching up on Picard just last night. Watched 3 in a row, so we got to see a lot of that particular commercial.
I'm liking it so far. Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I am liking it. It is really, really good.
Well, Phil, you could shell out the $6.99 and watch it. You know.
You could.
I'll wait till they're all out, and then I'll watch them all in 15 minutes. They need a
Okay.
Picard Doctor Who crossover.
They do, and it's funny because I'm not used to watching. This is the first time ever that I've been watching Star Trek and Doctor Who at the same time. New.
That's
Yeah.
sacrilegious.
It's never. In my lifetime, this has never happened before.
Once in a lifetime. You know,
So it's weird.
was Brian Blessed ever on Doctor Who? Because
Yes.
I'm a top fan of on the Brian Blessed Facebook
Well, there are
page.
only-
You know,
3.
it's funny because I thought you were kind of going to ask that, and I was ready with that
Really?
response. Yes, he was in a story in the mid-'80s, and he played. It's hilarious.
I didn't know I
because
was going to ask it.
He plays. Well, somehow Brian Blessed. I knew Brian Blessed was going to come up. I don't know
Shawn
why.
came back from space and is now a mind reader.
I anticipated
You're hiding
that.
something.
I just try to anticipate in advance what people are going to say sometimes. So
Okay.
Well, we don't even need to be here then.
I'll go get a drink. No, that's cool. So Brian,
But the funny
I
thing,
figured he had to have been.
He was in a story in the mid-'80s, and the hilarious thing is the character he plays is this sort of over-the-top bearded king guy, and he's basically he's basically Voltar with no wings. You know, it's the
You mean he
same
was
character.
typecast?
A little bit, but fortunately,
Maybe it
I've
was
seen
filmed
him
at the
in
same
some
time.
other things where he actually was very different. He did it at some other episodes, some other shows in the 70s that I've
He
seen.
also played the
Actually
lead
was
in
not
Little
like
Women.
That'd be great.
Brian Blessed is Little Women, or is
He plays all of them.
No, what's the? It could be on one of those. Oh no! For Jane Austen. Yeah, one of those.
Emma,
Yeah,
Emma.
Irma, I don't know.
you could
Brian
totally do
Blessed is Emma. Well, I would watch him in
He's
pretty much
very
anything.
versatile.
I pretty
love
much
Brian.
would too, because he's
I love
just
Brian
pretty
Blessed.
much awesome in everything he does. I want to see him when he was young and before he had a beard in Zed Cars.
Zen Cars.
No,
Zed-
Zed,
is it
Zed
Zed?
Cars. It's in American it would be Z Cars.
Yeah.
But
It's a
in
racing
Britain,
show?
They call the Z the Zed, so it's the name of the show was Zed Cars, and it was a cop show.
Also
in
in
the 60s and
New
70s.
Zealand, Sean.
And in New Zealand too. Okay.
I know this is way too early to take a break and we're short on time, but I need to use the restroom. Talk amongst yourselves.
Isn't anybody going to
The
ask me what I'm
narrator will
drinking?
fill in some things.
Well, we'll get to that when Phil comes back from the
Okay.
toilet.
Actually, Phil's going to want to know because of the name of this drink.
Did you make a pan-galactic gargle blaster?
No, but that's a good guess.
Okay, well, I'll wait.
I'll give you. I will give you a hint. It's the name. The name of this drink is similar to the name of one of Phil's favorite bands. Mull that over like some good mulled wine or something.
Okay.
Greetings, Earth creatures. You are listening to Time to Lean and Here's a Song. Isn't that lovely?
So,
Click.
yeah, I know. I right before I signed on, I was cooking dinner,
Yeah,
and I was rushing to get it done so I could sign on in time. And
I was rushing to make my
very
drink
stressful.
before we could start on time.
yeah, and then I
And
had
spilled
I
a lot.
I had hardball on in the background, of course, like I often do, and of course
Oh,
Trump
Chris
has to come on
Matthews.
and give his stupid coronavirus press conference, And and I'm not going to watch
I can
him,
only
so if I have to
imagine.
turn it off.
Yeah, well, I just never turn him off.
Oh, good.
I don't know. There's been a lot of good shows on lately. I was telling Phil that I finished Mr. Robot recently.
I've heard of it. I have not seen it, but I
would
gather it is
highly
much
recommend
acclaimed.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the best things that's been on in a long time. I think I really liked it.
That is a hearty recommendation from you.
No, it's it really seems like the showrunner writers really planned it out well, and it ends like you think it should, and
Okay, that's always good.
it's good.
Because
Yeah,
we watched
highly suggested.
we watched The Good Place all the way through to the end, and
I
that's
did
another
like that
good
show.
example of an exemplary series that has a definite beginning, middle, and end, and the end is actually really good. How often do you
I
see
like
that?
the ending. It's as good as it could have been. I don't know. That show could have ended maybe in 2 seasons, but
But
I
I'm
think they
still
did well.
kind of glad they didn't, because there's still it was worth it just for the end that they did come up with, and everything leading up to it was actually really good.
I'm impressed that a show like that could get done on conventional broadcast TV.
I am too. I'm
So-
watching it going, how did this even make it onto the air?
Yeah,
It's
very
especially
atypical.
in American television, you know what I mean? I mean, it's
Oh,
it's
everything's
really hard
better
to do
in
that.
England.
My youngest daughter, my youngest daughter watched that show, and she kind of gave up at some point because she said it was getting repetitive.
In some ways, yeah, but they were also having fun with it.
Oh, no,
Here's the
I
thing.
didn't get tired of it, but
I
Well,
didn't either.
she's
Because the variations
13,
were
so-
interesting.
she's 13. She's one of those tweener
Yeah.
YouTubers,
Yeah.
But
Them
maybe
kids.
if we ever get Netflix again or wherever it is, well, Hulu.
Well, it probably will be
Sulu.
Netflix.
Why don't they have a Sulu channel?
And now's the point where you ask me what I'm drinking.
What are you drinking, Sean?
I'm drinking a B-52.
What?
Well, what is that?
It
I
is
no.
flipped around in our book of cocktails, and I found it, and I went with it because all 3 ingredients we happen to have.
Blue Caraco?
That's important.
Grand
Or
Marnier.
What?
No, it's Grand Marnier
Yep.
and
Spinach
Irish
juice.
cream
What?
Oh, this is weird. Okay.
and Kahlua.
Wow, that
Okay.
sounds really sweet.
Wait,
is pretty
start
sweet.
over. I'm sorry, start over. What? What are the... That's crazy.
I'll go in order that the ingredients are supposed to be put in, because it's one of those drinks that you're supposed to layer it by putting the
Oh,
second 2
yeah.
ingredients over the back of a spoon so that it comes out looking layered, which I didn't have time for, so I just kind of screwed it up.
I used a fork.
But it's pretty tasty. It's Kahlua.
Okay.
First you put in Kahlua, and then you put in Irish cream. It says Bailey's Irish cream, but we have the
Okay, those two go together in other
we have
beverages.
the Kirkland knockoff and Grand Marnier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, that makes more sense now that you
For
said
some
it that
reason,
way.
reversing it makes it insane.
Okay. So,
Well, it just blew my mind.
that
And it was named after that
And it-
band
yeah,
in the
it
80s,
is kinda
B-52s.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah,
it's
who
just
I've
called
seen in
B-52
concert.
singular.
I've seen this beverage at concert. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It was very energetic.
Where's my umbrella? Backing up in a static.
Static.
Hey,
He's-
my
he's
tin
aged
roof is
well,
rusted.
yeah.
Yeah, he's still the nice thing about the way he's saying is that he can sing like that forever.
Pretty
Yes.
much.
It's pretty practical, actually.
He
It
doesn't
is.
have to change keys or anything.
You're not going to overwork your voice unless you
Unlike
talk a
Elton
lot.
John or Billy Joel, I got to take this down a few steps.
Planet Claire has pink air.
Oh, the trees are red. Okay.
All right.
John, I'm going to guess what John's drinking.
You guess, because you saw
Okay.
that picture I posted of like my giant collection of.
Oh, no.
I saw it.
Now
too.
that you say John is drinking a bottle. No. I had an idea for this is unrelated, but I had an idea for a little show, Shawn. It's called Fishing with Shawn. You and I are going to go fishing. It'll be a parody of Fishing with Shawn. What do you think John is drinking?
Oh,
it's not a B-52. He doesn't have very many cream drinks.
I'm not drinking a cocktail, if that helps.
Okay. I'm going to guess some kind of scotch.
A 40-year Nibelhobbelabend.
40-year Nibelungen.
That's got to be great.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, the Germans never took over Scotland.
You missed the reference there, guys.
No, what I didn't even hear what you said.
I'd buy that for $1.
No.
Do you know what movie I am quoting?
Star Trek.
No.
I've been drinking too much already.
I buy that for $1. Oh, I don't know.
RoboCop.
Is that what that's from?
Yeah, their first RoboCop from the 80s. Yeah.
I would have thought somebody would have done that before that, but
yeah, that movie has a lot.
But no, it actually originated
satire and it's great.
I learned so much from being around you guys.
One of my favorite pictures that I have is it's a picture of Nixon in RoboCop. It must have been photoshopped.
I think so.
Probably,
but I love
unless it was the old Nixon. In which case it's possible because he was still around.
So I'm going to divert just a tiny bit. And speaking of RoboCop, because I'm just free associating here. Do you all remember going to some of the arty uptown theaters and stuff like that? And they used to run this old promo with the RoboCop, Peter Weller, and he would shoot at this guy who was smoking a cigarette.
In the theater.
He said, "Thank you for not smoking." You guys remember that?
That sounds a little familiar.
I don't, but that sounds wonderful.
They used to run it at the Uptown and the Artie Lagoon theaters. Yeah.
Yeah. But
that was before the Lagoon. Even
when I was going to those, the one I remember is the John Waters one.
Okay. Where he's like, See, John Waters is coming to Minneapolis shortly. It's already sold.
What?
Yeah, it's already sold out, but
he's been here before, so that makes sense.
The Parkview or something. But yeah, so somebody I know was telling me about that.
Because the last time he was here, he did more of a visual art thing at the Walker Center, I think.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's at the Parkview, but I don't know what he's doing there.
So I looked this up, and this was a clip from RoboCop 2. He walks by this guy who's smoking where he's not supposed to be, and he fires a bunch of bullets at him.
Oh, yeah.
And he puts the gun away. "Thank you for not smoking." And they used that. Somebody put that in a little PSA that ran in some movie theaters.
Yeah, because they didn't want you to smoke really there. Funny. That is related to the John Waters thing where he's like, "Oh, don't you wish you could smoke in this theater?" Like,
yeah.
I do. Okay, yes, I do remember that now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think they ran that at the Uptown too.
Back to the drinks. I am not drinking scotch, actually.
Really?
Uh-oh. No, I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm drinking a bourbon.
Ooh.
That was my second guess.
I am drinking Dry Fly Distillery, which is a Washington State outfit. Bourbon 101. It's a 4-year-old. It's in the name, 101 proof.
Ooh. A 4-year collegiate.
Yeah, 4 years, so it's 2 years past where it has to be.
Yeah.
Good.
It's very nice.
Okay.
I
will keep that in mind. Maybe I'll get it from my dad sometime.
101.
Yep, you can get it here, I think. But I have had this, and probably talked about it before, but I've had this distillery's wheat whiskey.
Oh, okay. That sounds familiar.
That's kind of what they're known for.
Wheat whiskey.
But wheat whiskey is very good, actually.
I would like to try that sometime.
But this is their straight bourbon, so it's a Kentucky style bourbon.
Right.
Well, I'm not drinking anything.
I will also keep that in mind.
You're not drinking anything?
No, I am. You know what? You know what I figured out, John, is the little 45th parallel little glasses we got. It makes a perfect Manhattan, a little mini Manhattan. If you fill it up, you got the glass. There's that white line on the 45th parallel. You fill that up to whiskey. Then you put in a little bit of vermouth, probably about halfway from there, and then of course, the other things, the cherry and it's a perfect little tiny mini Manhattan.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's good. It's a good thing to know. And what whiskey are you using for your Manhattan?
Oh, it's Evan Williams bonded.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Hold standby.
Sure.
It's okay. It's good in the Manhattan.
Sure.
The one problem with that glass for me is that I tend to like a lot of ice in my Manhattans.
Right. Well, you drink a little bit and you put another ice cube in.
I've done that.
Well, that works too. No, those are great.
Well, what? So speaking, what?
Hip, hop,
E-
hip, hip. Hi, we're back.
So the one topic I've got on the list that involves Shawn is
I'm
pants.
drinking enough now.
drive-in movie theaters, and why is that associated with Shawn?
I have a drive-in movie theater story, but
Okay, go
and
for
it also touches it. No, I'm not going to go now.
Okay.
But it also touches on the nostalgia thing that we get into every now and then. But Shawn posted something about drive-in movie theaters. It might have been even 2 years ago, but I don't remember what it was.
It might have been. I don't remember either, of course, because it was 2 years ago, and I barely remember what I did yesterday. But
Yesterday, Shawn was in a vault. I am the narrator. I don't know what's been happening in this episode, but I'm very upset. I'm riled up. I'm not appreciative of what's happening in this. I am the narrator. Every now and then, there's a guest narrator. I get that.
Ed, that's enough.
But what's going on?
Shut up, Ed.
Hey, don't you tell me to shut up.
I am telling you to shut up.
No, you can't tell me. Who are you?
I am the director.
We don't have a director.
We do now.
I don't want a director.
Oh, yes, you do. Have a drink. Click. This is the worst show ever.
John's muted himself.
He's out of here.
I hope he didn't turn the recording off.
I hope not.
He does that sometimes lately. He'll just mute it. So what? And that's fine because maybe he's coughing. No, you must have posted something kind of like reminiscing about the old days with the drive-in movie theaters. What was there one in Tarrington?
Torrington?
Frank Tarkenton?
Frank Tarkenton, Torrington.
Oh, I have to apologize about the last episode because I was referencing, we were trying to talk about 80s TV shows, and almost everything I said was a 70s show.
Whoops.
I was trying to tell you this.
Well,
Phil.
some of them carried over, though, so it's hard to say.
But not
the
Battle
narrator
of the
wasn't doing his job or something.
But not Battle of the Network Stars. That didn't go into
You
the
seemed
80s.
oddly fixated on that
Are you
show
sure?
for some reason. You mentioned it like 10 times.
Oh, if you saw it, you'd be fixated on it too. What a wonderful show. Anyway, we should do that.
Yeah.
Battle of the Streaming Stars.
To answer your question, Phil, when I was growing up in Torrington, most of the time there were actually 2 drive-in movie theaters and only one normal movie theater. However,
One walk
a normal
up to
brick and mortar movie theater.
frickin' Marty.
And the brick and mortar theater is still there, and the 2, I'm pretty sure both of the drive-ins are gone now. The one I know is because
Do you remember what they were all
even
called?
before I left Torrington, the one was actually torn down, and they put up a school bus garage in its place. But yeah, I do have a lot of. We went to the drive-in quite a bit, especially for the The one that they later tore down for the bus garage was where they ran a lot of the kids' movies. So we watched a lot of the Disney movies and stuff like that. The Fox and the Hound and Unidentified Flying Oddball and stuff like that. The Cat from Outer Space.
What was it? What were the old? Because in the old days, the Rapid Theater would show in the summers you could go and sit all day and watch 8 movies. But there was cool. Disney live action movies with 2 little kids.
The Witch Mountain saga.
Yeah, the Witch Mountain ones.
It's funny. All that stuff has been relaunched on the Disney streaming service as part of their back catalog. So it's pretty intense.
Disney Double Plus
good.
Good.
A little bit, and they've got a lot of that stuff. So that's cool.
Good for them. I mean, that's very smart.
It is. And they have some of the really old
the movie theaters feel like the Rapid. And when we were growing up, there was the movie theaters in Rapid City were owned by this company called Commonwealth.
Commonwealth sounds socialist to me.
David.
And
yes, I remember that company. Yeah,
they were. They have a Wikipedia page, but they've been gone so long that basically there's nothing about them on the internet that I could ever find. Because they were acquired by some other nondescript media company in '84, so they've been gone a long time.
Duhamel.
Right.
No, that's KOT.
Oh, sorry. The Duhamel conspiracy. What was the name? So, because Rapid City used to have 2 drive-in movie theaters.
Bonus points if you can name them all.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
I don't remember either of the names.
So the ones I remember are there was the Pines.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was on the west side.
Right.
Okay.
There was the Sioux.
Oh, that was the one more in town.
That was the one over by on the south side of town.
The bowling alley.
Okay.
I don't remember what's there now. It's like a gas station or something.
It's just gravel. No, it is a gas station.
That was on St. Patrick Street.
I think it's
And-
pump
I
and
remember
come.
that one.
I think
remember
there was
driving
one
by that
Bruce will definitely remember, but the Starlight, I think, just off Interstate 90 east of town.
Wait,
Okay.
there was 3 at one point?
There were 3. Only two of them I remember being in operation, but I know there was a third out east of town because the screen was there for many years after that.
Oh, I don't
It's
remember.
now
that.
like a junk recycling outfit or something.
I almost wanted to say I vaguely remember seeing that one in passing.
It
a long
probably,
time
when we
ago.
were kids, it was probably closed and dilapidated.
Yes.
I don't
Something
remember
about
that.
that seems very familiar.
Something about this seems very familiar.
My older brothers took Rob and myself to a showing of The Swarm. A classic movie at the Sioux shortly before it closed, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Pines quite a few times and I remember seeing Disney movies there and stuff like that. So, and it was also near the famous Rapid City dog track.
Right. That's
yes.
the one I remember more.
Way out there on the west side.
I think I kind of remember that too.
The Sioux I remember was mostly just a bunch of gravel. I don't know.
Yeah, it was not a great one.
I don't remember I don't remember any movie I saw there. I do remember seeing movies at the Pines.
Yeah, that I many more times.
So every now and then we'd be on a little trip in the hills and we'd end up sort of by the Pines, and my dad would pull off the side of the road there, and we didn't have the sound, but we could watch
the silent movie.
and was like, oh, what's that? So we stopped for a while, but I'm guessing all of our listeners remember driving movie theaters, but it was, you'd find a place to park and you'd get the weird little speaker on your windshield, kind of this weird metal box.
The tinny little AM radio speaker.
You'd all sit in the car and watch some movies.
Yep.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, we went there
what a
a
weird
lot.
idea.
I first saw Star Wars at the Hilltop. I think it was called the Hilltop Theater in Torrington. That was where I first saw Star Wars.
Wow. Oh.
Yep.
So the first time you saw
that was
Star
fun.
Wars was at a drive-in.
Yes.
So
not remember.
Gregory, South Dakota, where my wife is from, still has an operating drive-in.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Very cool.
What's it called? The Gregory. No,
I don't know what it's called, actually.
the Greg Kratz.
We'll have to look that up.
All right, I'm back here. We got rid of that other trespasser, and I had to call the police, and somebody else was saying they were a director, and we had, 2 people were trespassed. Anywho, the Hilltop Drive-In is the name of Gregory, South Dakota's drive-in movie theater. It's off of Highway 9 and West Highway 18. It's one of only a handful of outdoor movie theaters still in operations in South Dakota, and it was opened in 1946. The theater can accommodate 240 cars, and the population of Gregory, South Dakota is 7. So people come from other towns. It features both car radio and speaker sound, and this classic drive-in season runs from May to October. So there you go.
Because now I'm curious. If there were a preservation society for drive-in theaters, I would be a member. Because I think
there is still one in
American.
There's still one here in the Twin Cities, though.
There is.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's the name of that
We should make
one?
a field trip.
It's at the Valley High.
Valley High. No, there's more than one. I think there's more than one. I think
This
this
one
one
is
is.
Last I
way
saw,
out
there were
by, like,
actually
Oakdale
2,
or
and
something
they're
like
both
that.
east of town.
Oh.
I thought there was one near Cottage Grove, but maybe that one closed.
Well,
Okay.
this one
Was
is
one,
you can see
and I
it
think
off
I've
of
been to it years
Interstate
ago.
94.
Yeah.
No, that one's still going. Valley High. They only show South Pacific. Over and over. I'm gonna
24
watch
hours a day.
that band right out of my. Well, so my drive-in movie theater story was the kind of penultimate. No, it was probably the ultimate drive. So they would show more than one movie. I was a kid, and we were in the van, and my younger brothers and I, we went to see. So I think my parents thought that I would fall asleep at some point. So the 3 movies that were playing were Star Wars, King Kong, and Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Wrong. It was Up in Smoke.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
A late 70s extravaganza.
it was 80s. No, I'm kidding. But I think they figured I would fall asleep by the 3rd movie, so they weren't worried about it. And my younger brothers did. But, maybe were they both alive then? I don't know. Are they still
Just
now?
FYI, Phil, it is called the Valley High, and it's technically Lake Elmo.
That's
Yeah.
right. I knew that one was
Valley
still going,
High,
yeah.
not Valley High.
Yeah.
That's the one that's off of 94 there.
Okay.
Yep.
So, we watched Star Wars and King Kong, and I was getting tired, but I was like, what is this Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke? So I stayed up, and I watched all 3 of these movies. That's a lot of movies in a row.
That is a lot of movies in a row.
That's really late. There's that guy 2 or 3 in the morning, right?
I don't know. Because you had to wait
had
till
to
it got
at
dark
least
for the movies to
midnight,
start.
Because Star Wars was over 2 hours, and
But I have some of my earliest memories is of Up in Smoke, but so that backfired on my parents. But when you're a kid though, you don't they're just adults acting weird. I mean, it was kind of a
True.
cartoon in some ways, I guess. I didn't think,
kind of like that episode of Barney
drugs.
Miller where they were eating the brownies.
I have not seen that episode. Wow.
It's an early one because the
Oh,
one I
Fish,
remember,
yeah.
it had but the really funny one was what's his name, Sergeant Yamana, I think. He was the one who acted really. So that's how you know it's an early one because he passed away at some point. But he was really really funny, and they'd been given these funny brownies and. I didn't really get it when I was a kid, but now I'm looking at it going, hey.
Well, it's just adults acting weird.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the
literally all it was. It was adults acting weird.
The lady snorted Ajax or something. It's
I didn't
like,
think it was
she
any
went,
different than... I mean, there was, things all over the, with people acting drunk, and it would just seem to like a variation of that.
I don't know. I guess it just seemed cartoonish.
Innocent time. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. But I've always thought that probably is the best drive-in movie experience I had. I can't remember any of the other ones, frankly. I remember trying to go. It's like I had to go get popcorn at so they had some weird little building in the middle of the gravel.
Yep.
Yep.
Made of
Maybe
concrete.
they had a swing set. Sure. Oh yeah, it was like a bunker, some kind
It
of.
was like concrete blocks. They were all probably similar plan because pretty much all the ones I've seen, at least from that time period, it's like concrete blocks, big window, go up and get your popcorn and.
I think they
like
they
that.
probably were all made to withstand a nuclear blast.
Yeah, I guess so.
They were bunkers. Well, this was just released recently, but because during 9/11, Dick Cheney was in a bunker, but they never said where he was. But actually, he was at the Pines in South Dakota at the drive-in movie
Seems
theater.
like a pretty good place to hide out, actually, because you could just watch the movies and.
I don't know. I thought it was too close to Ellsworth, really, but that's fine. Whatever.
But on the other hand, if something goes wrong, being close to Ellsworth, you fly them out really quick. So.
But in other news, speaking of vice presidents, Mike Pence is in charge of the Coronora Kakanuka virus, coronavirus. Yeah.
So actually, somebody
Mike,
is in charge.
Mike Pence
now.
is. Yeah.
Well, somehow I don't feel very reassured, but at least they're trying to get somebody in charge. I guess that's better than nobody.
As long as they listen to some of the CDC requirements or recommendations.
Like maybe not putting contaminated and uncontaminated passengers together. Maybe might be a good idea.
I really can't believe after our last episode that we're talking about politics again.
Womp, womp, womp.
Because that was a win.
I suppose we need, but we had some new not followers. We had some new listeners on that one though. Well, just to follow up though, Rapid City did not pass the school funding referendum.
So clearly we did not help.
Not.
No, we tried.
Well, you only have 10 listeners, so it's not like you would make that much of a difference.
Hey, well, it's up from 3.
True.
No, but so evidently, I don't know, in Rapid City at least, in order to pass a school funding referendum, you need, and this is, I'm citing Megan, John's sister, you need 60% of the population to pass it, vote to pass it. But to pass a funding referendum on a prison, you only need 50%.
And all normal things. So basically, yeah.
So, okay, but Rapid City
that's not
got really close.
At all.
No, they got really close, though. They got 54% of the people voted in Rapid City voted to pass this school funding referendum, a much-needed one.
Which anywhere else would have been a solid majority, but...
No, they needed 60%.
But close
for
only
schools.
counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
We need.
That's right.
I think they needed a few hand grenades. Now I'm not promoting violence.
That might have gotten some votes out there. You never know.
But if you look at the voter turnout, it was really low. But
what was 20%? What I heard. That's really sad.
But if you look at that,
but
I'm not a
surprising.
math guy. I know it was a blizzard too. I think. But if you look, I'm not a math guy. But if you look at it, 54% of whatever that number was, I don't know. They were so close. But whatever.
Why do these elections have to be on one day?
Well, that's the thing.
I
Is
think
here
some
they
people
have
voted
early
early.
voting, and you can
Yeah,
actually
of course.
go in.
No,
But
I think
apparently
in
they
Rapid
don't
City
do
some
that
people
enough.
voted early too.
Did they?
But I don't know. Yeah, somebody on Megan's thing said I voted.
So they
early.
only had 20% even with early voting.
Well, it doesn't help that it's kind of an odd time to have it. It's not near any other, big elections and primaries, things like that.
True.
So you have to really be dedicated to go out and vote, and people don't even normally vote for presidents. So
True.
And in a blizzard.
I'm one of those people that thinks that Election Day should be a national holiday, and
I'm with you on
people can
that.
vote and not have to take time off of work and all that other crap.
But also maybe not have some of these weird referendum things in the middle of nowhere. I mean, why is that in the end of February?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to spend too much on this, but
We already did.
I had heard that there was a lot of outside groups coming in trying to kill this. Ones that are encouraging parents to pull their kids out of public schools and
Yeah,
some
because
private school people.
you mean like
homeschool
the
or
Secretary of
religious
Education?
well, people with
Because that's pretty much
yeah,
her.
I think there are probably some Koch brothers funded
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
consultants that come out and do this stuff.
There's
that's
so
what I've been
many
hearing,
of them.
but
Who knows?
To quote our president, people have been saying,
Yeah.
and so it must be true, right?
That works.
Right.
No, I saw an article about some guy that shows up at all these things and spends all this time and money to defeat school referendums.
Oh yeah,
he
saw
probably
that
showed
too.
up when we had
I
ours.
think Megan posted that. So, yeah.
Well, okay, so we're winding up here at the end. Let's talk about recommendations. We have a shorter time period tonight, which some of our listeners might appreciate. Do you have any recommendations? I guess you guys were already talking about Picard a little bit. That's kind of a no-brainer. Really,
I recommend
recommendation.
Yeah, Picard's really good. It's just really solid, and it's well written, and
sexy.
With Patrick Stewart in it, it's got to have some merit because he can pretty much do whatever he wants, and
he's one of the producers.
He's not going to
now.
waste his time on crap.
No, he turned down. He turned down at least 2 other reboot ideas.
Well, he did say he had been saying for 20 years he didn't want to do it again, and they talked him into it.
Be a slight dissent here? Just a little bit. I enjoy it. It's been good so far, but
I haven't seen it.
This isn't a huge spoiler, but unfortunately for me, they have chosen to go back to the Borg well again for the plot.
In an interestingly different way, though.
Yeah,
and they're not
get it, but
beating people over the head with it exactly.
No, I feel like the other shows and movies and everything's really went overboard using that.
That's arguably so.
And I'm still tired of it.
Well, did they have any tachyon fields or whatever? No.
Not yet.
They didn't on Enterprise, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, so what have
Enterprise
you been watching?
Obviously had other problems, but
other than that, what have you both been watching?
Another show I would recommend on Netflix that we liked a lot is called The Witcher. And
I've heard about that.
That one, yeah.
It's actually really interesting. I saw an article that was trying to compare it to Game of Thrones. Basically
Everybody's trying to be the next.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you do a fantasy series, you're going to get compared to Game of Thrones. But they were basically like, yeah, it's like bad and it knows it's bad and all this sort of stuff. But it's actually a pretty intelligent drama show in this sort of vaguely medieval alternative history sort of fantasy setting. And it's kind of it's partly a Polish production partly because the novels and short stories on which it's based were originally in Polish, and so it has this sort of Eastern European vibe to it that makes it really interesting and distinctive.
That makes it sound more interesting to me than when I heard about it first.
Yeah, that's
good to know.
That vibe makes it a lot better, I think, and there's some really good, interesting writing in it. And also there's only 10 episodes, so it doesn't take too long to get through, relatively speaking. And they're doing another season, and they could do a lot of seasons because there's a lot of material that they can draw from, apparently, because they've been doing these stories and novels since like the late 80s or late 90s. So
all I know about that show is my cousin Leah posted a picture of him in a hot tub or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Something about his Polska kielbaska.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
So, John, what are you?
Well, I mentioned
Schitt's
Shawn-
Creek Part 2.
Well,
No.
yeah, Schitt's Creek I really like, but
I know.
I mentioned to Sean, of course, while we were out,
I missed that.
that Mr. Robot had a great
Yeah.
wrap-up recently. I highly recommend that show. But the other one I would put a plug out for, which is not going to be a shock for people who have read about it, is Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yes.
We recently finished that. It's very good.
Okay. I actually liked
highly recommended.
I've read the graphic novel, and
you'll definitely want to see the show. Then.
And I have seen the movie version that Warner's put out some years ago, and it was
Zack Snyder one.
Surprisingly good, actually. Is definitely better than the average, Warner Brothers DC Comics movie. I'm assuming at least because the source material is so good.
Yeah, Sean, I have, especially since you're up on the material, you'll get a little bit more out of it, because I think the show barely gives you enough to go on if you don't know the source material. It's not. I mean, you don't have to have seen the old movie or read the graphic novel, but it probably helps a little bit to have that, because it's not a redo. It's actually, it picks up in the same world as the earlier stuff is, because it takes place more or less in present day.
I see. Wow. Okay, that's really interesting.
But it has a great cast in it, and it's like 9 episodes. But it's very, very good. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely interested.
Okay, so I just started watching a show called Food Flirts.
From the sublime to the ridiculous. Yes.
No, so this is 2 little old ladies. And it was on PBS Passport, but they're two little old ladies, and maybe they wouldn't like to be called that, but they go to restaurants. They go to each episode. They go to 2 different restaurants that are totally not connected, because they have this bucket list. Over the years, they've cooked in a lot of things, but they want to try these different foods. So, like the one episode, they'll go to like a noodle place, and then the next before that they went to this pastrami place where they make their own pastrami. So then what they do at the end is they combine the 2 things. So they made this pastrami klugel or something like that noodle dish. So they combined the Asian. Whoops, I don't remember what Asian part it was. Noodles, full noodles or whatever, with the pastrami and different things to make this kind of Jewish comfort food thing. Anyway, that was one example. And so that cool. I don't know. That was a lot of fun.
Sounds fun.
It doesn't have Jean-Luc Picard in it, but these little old ladies are really.
That's okay. We watch
lot.
some food stuff shows too.
Oh, that's good.
Some of which are on Netflix too.
Like the British baking. Yeah.
Yes, that's one of them.
Soggy bottoms. So has anybody been to a fun restaurant lately? I went to, I've been there more than once, but there's a place on Phelan in St. Paul, Minnesota, not South Dakota. I know we talk about South Dakota a lot. But
and it's not Taco John's.
It's called Tongue and Cheek. They kind of specialize in pork belly sort of things. But so Jody and I, my wife, went to the. I actually am married, ladies and gentlemen. Went to a.
Oh no!
Really?
Sat at the bar. Yeah, 20-something years. She can't remember either, so that's fine. Yeah, it's not one of those deals where you don't remember our anniversary. It's like, I remember the date, but I don't remember the year. But anyway, yeah. So tongue in cheek. If you go there on a Saturday, so I think they always have a cocktail flight They have like 5, I think,
What?
little tiny versions of their cocktails. But they make other cocktails too. And I didn't catch the name of the bartender. I should have asked him, but I think he's there most Saturday nights. He's a younger black-haired guy with a black beard, and he said, I had one of their drinks. It had mezcal. It was really well balanced. It had a smoke. It was definitely smoky.
Okay.
But I should have written down the name of the drink. But he said, well, if you like that, because he likes this kind of balanced, they seem to like that. I don't know if it's umami or whatever the word is, but
Feng Shui.
sure. It's a feng shui drink? No, that's not it.
As
But
long as you place
it's
it in
got
the
that.
right place in the room.
It's got a balance between
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
sweet and spice and savory and this kind of weird fat thing.
Savory and ivory. Sorry. Anyway.
So there's a drink. Evidently, there's a cocktail called Blood and Sand, which is scotch and some other things.
And bull's blood.
No, I hope so.
Bull's
balls.
Yeah, from the movie there's a bullfighting movie called Blood and Sand. Sorry.
I'd buy that for $1.
Okay. I haven't
Is that
seen
an
it,
Orson
but-
Welles unfinished movie?
No, it's Tyrone Power.
Oh, well, we should watch that.
We should.
So they're trying to make their own version of this drink, except not with scotch, because the guy doesn't like scotch for some reason. He's sad. I think he was using mezcal, tequila or something. But he said, I'm working on this one. I don't know what to call it yet. And I said, well, why don't you call it that name of that creature in the Star Wars movie that comes up and eats Boba Fett? So they might call it that. Now, Matt P.
The
would know.
Sarlacc?
The Sarlacc.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So
For marketing
he
reasons,
knew.
that would be a good name. If they can use it, if it's not under trademark or something.
They'd get sued.
Probably is.
Probably. They'd have to get a license.
at the Galaxy's Edge Park, there's probably a Sarlacc drink.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it probably is based on the Blood and Sand. But we'll ask Paul S. and Matt P. about that someday. But you're the second guest, which makes you a third. So have you been anywhere besides Taco John's?
I haven't even been
E-
to Taco
either of you?
John's lately, but
That's sad.
we went recently to the Blue Door in Minneapolis, the one that's not too far from the U of M. And
Yeah.
it
They
was
got some
pretty
good. Good burgers there.
Yeah, that's actually what we had, and unfortunately, I can't remember which one that Connie had that she really liked. But yeah, they have some
They
really
run
good burgers.
they run a food establishment at the fair called the Blue Barn.
Oh, is that connected?
Sometimes they have some good food.
No, I've been
believe it.
there. I didn't get the connection.
Same people.
Blue Ox. They have a version of the Juicy Lucy there called the Bluesy Lucy, I think.
Yes, they do.
And for our non-Minnesota listeners, wherever you are, that guy in the Philippines, that's basically a patty. It might be 2 patties of burgers with some cheese in the middle.
Yeah.
The Juicy Lucy is a kind of famous thing. Where did it start? Who did the first Juicy Lucy? That's a big Matt's or what?
It's Matt's Bar in South Minneapolis, or the 5-8 Club. That's the other one that claims to have
They
been
both are
invented.
fighting over it. They started it.
Yeah.
It's a big rivalry.
Ah,
But I think it
They're-
was Taco John's.
You know, they're both overrated, if you ask me. But.
Well, there goes another sponsorship.
Oh, shit.
Taco John's should do a taco burger with cheese in the middle.
Yeah, how about queso? You know, they could get crazy.
Queso. That would be
Yeah.
So it could be
a queso burger.
the Juicy Lucy queso. No, that's too complicated.
Yeah, I'm bored
The
already.
queso, the mesa queso.
Oh,
I don't-
well, So are the listeners.
No, he said he was on board. Not that he was
I thought
bored.
He was bored.
He is aboard.
He is aboard.
Oh.
Well, we recently ate at Fogo de Chao.
Ah, that place is fun.
Oh, the big meat place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brazilian.
The
Brazilian-
gauchos come around
yeah.
with the sticks of meat.
Includes a free Brazilian wax.
Yes.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite Steely Dan songs. No, okay.
And the gaucho amigo.
Fuego de Gauchos.
Why is he coming around with a giant skewer of meat?
Would you like to sample some of my lamb? Yeah, that's crazy though. That's crazy meat.
It is.
It was.
It's a crazy
We were a
place,
little
man.
disappointed, actually. I don't know.
Really?
Had you ever been there before?
Yes.
Oh, was it different this time than before?
Well, here's the problem. Of course, this place is very expensive. I think if you go
It is.
during
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's like $50 a person or something like
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all you can eat super meat.
Yeah.
that. This was not super.
No,
We went
That's
for
too bad.
Restaurant Week, which is this artificially created thing that is invented around here for restaurants to do specials.
is it like a Hallmark holiday?
It's like that. It's like National Donut Day, which happens once a month.
Or record store day.
Well, that's not
No,
so bad,
that's
but
better.
The food-related
is.
ones, they seem to do them multiple times a year.
Yeah.
But Restaurant Week one is like they had a special. It was cheaper, but they restricted it to not all of their good meat.
Oh.
So it's like you save some money and all that, but
But they
it
give
really
you the cheap
seemed
version.
apparent that you got the cheap version.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
And
So you get like
it
ostrich,
was still like $35 a head or something.
That's
ostrich.
still
and-
not exactly cheap.
No, it is not. So I don't think.
I don't
especially
know.
back-
The last
wasn't
time
that
I
good.
bought a head was about $50. What? No,
It
sorry.
was Murray Head.
Or Anthony Stewart's head.
Who's in a newer show now, I guess.
But $35 for all you can eat cheap meat is probably not that bad.
It's not that bad, and you know the little charcuterie section has huge piles of Papandou peppers, which I happen to love,
Oh,
and big chunks of Parmesan cheese. You know,
Yeah.
the stuff that normally costs a lot, and I don't know. It was fine, but we came away a little disappointed.
sad.
Yeah.
I blame
I don't
Donald
know.
Trump.
Don't we all?
So yeah, and of course, you know, I called my mom last night when I heard about the results of the Rapid City referendum,
Yeah.
just to tell her, hey, I'm sorry about this. That sucks. And we were talking, and I think I ended the conversation with the comment that, well, the way things are going, we're all going to get the coronavirus, and the planet's going to overheat and flood.
So who cares
and
about
she goes,
the
well,
schools?
that's really depressing, John. Thanks.
But it's also somehow uplifting.
I don't know. So don't feel so
So
bad, Mom.
Oh, that's good. Always look on the bright side.
We're all doomed anyway, Mom.
So, you know, where we're going, we don't need schools.
No, it's the apocalypse.
When
It makes you
Western
think.
civilization completely collapses after Trump is reelected, that it won't matter anyway.
Yeah.
And here's a
Sean,
song.
Sean, before we wrap things up,
Okay.
did you have any topics you wanted to bring up?
Nope. I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. Oh, good night.
Okay, click.
That's our song.
Okay, we're done. Okay, well, John's got to go. He's got a gig or
My
something.
life is complete.
Okay.
Well, thanks, John.
Thanks.
Well, thank you, John.
Thanks for
Thank
having me.
you, Phil.
Thanks for being had.
It's a weird week. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I've had a weird 2 weeks. I've had a weird life, really. But I think in part, I blame that trilogy at the drive-in theater. Star Wars, King Kong, and Cheech and Chong's up in smoke.
Phil, which King Kong was it? Was it the 1976
Oh, it was
one?
I was assuming it was the 70s one.
No, it
with
was
Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was the actress though? She was kind of
Yeah.
Easy on
no.
the eyes? What?
yeah. She was even then I was like, hey, she's something. But okay, that's probably sexist.
I'll take us out on this one note that I read lots of classic movie reviews from when they get reissued on disc and stuff, and
We all need a hobby.
I read this review of a movie called Penelope, which is not related to my niece. Sorry,
Yeah,
Paul.
never heard of it. I've heard of your niece.
It's a mostly forgotten Natalie Wood movie
Okay.
Oh wow.
from the 60s, and Jonathan Winters has a small part in it.
What?
Yeah, and I was kind of excited. I thought, oh, this is I love Jonathan Winters, but
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
reading the
he's
synopsis
fun.
or the review of it, and apparently he's in this one scene, which is a flashback of Natalie Wood's character, and the only thing that happens in this scene is she was in college, and Jonathan Winters is a science professor who basically molests her.
Ouch.
Chases her around the lab and rips her clothes off or something horrible like that. It's
Oh,
just like,
wow.
Oh my god! I mean, apparently it's a really bad movie, but I
Oh.
just
It does sound really
he
bad.
doesn't even have any dialogue, which what a waste. But
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He could have done he could have done 10
That's a
minutes,
bad
but maybe not on that topic.
that just really made me sad that
Yeah.
he was in a movie like that.
Well, he was trying to branch out from his kind of crazy antics to sort of a
and I'm
sick
sure
antics.
it seemed almost like a pseudo, for the time, Benny Hill kind of a thing, where some
Right.
now,
but now looking
some
back,
guys
that's
running around chasing a girl
oh.
and all that
Dun,
stuff.
dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
but
it
now
was just ick. Yeah,
But now
Ow.
it's really sick.
yeah, and it was just a lot of ways. It was just a downer. So sorry to end up.
Well, so on
we'll
that-
cut that out.
Speak,
Well, guys, it's been a time.
Well, say hi to Matt P for me.
yeah.
I will.
And Brexit, Bixit.
Brexit. Her name is Beeks.
She left New Zealand. Bill Bixby. Okay.
Yeah, Bill Bixby. The
When
Hulk.
she gets angry, she turns green.
You
she's
know,
a
you
She-Hulk.
really don't want to fuck with her. It's true.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The
All right,
Incredible
ladies and
She-Hulk.
gentlemen. We got to edit that out too.
I'm sure that somebody will.
You know, Shawn, I'm sorry that you had to come on this horrible coronavirus night episode.
Hey, we all got to
God.
survive the impending calamity.
You know, so
In their own way.
today it was like today the combination was coronavirus and doing my taxes and
You're not the only
thinking of
one.
this horrible Jonathan Winters movie, and then I came on and did a podcast.
Oh,
But you know what? The nice thing about the coronavirus is I think we could still do the podcast if we're in quarantine.
yeah,
You're
actually we
right.
could.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah, I do too.
Literally.
Actually,
There's always a plus.
There's
Double
always
plus
tomorrow
good.
for dreams to come true.
All right, everyone, have a pleasant evening and make sure to buy some of those face masks
yes.
before
Yes,
they run out.
or get those.
All right.
Here's a
But
song.
I'm not even gonna buy a face mask because Mike Pence is in charge. We should do a live song right now. Okay, I'll start. Boom, 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 boom,
Well, Phil, there you go. You got the song.
Coronavirus.
Here's the song!
'cause the world is dying. But on me, no, not I. Leave the world to the octopi. Perhaps the squid would like to try. They'll get their chance by and by. Apocalypse who, apocalypse how, apocalypse when. It seems that climate change is making everybody strange. Now every country has their own Trump. Stripping resources for a stock market bump. As long as we have dino juice at the pump, places to go and things to dump. Apocalypse who, apocalypse how, apocalypse when. We cut down all the trees and we poisoned all the bees. The air makes us all wheeze. Though we threw our chance away, everything will be okay with the cockroach and the fleas. Apocalypse who, apocalypse how, apocalypse when.
Ever since Jesus died, they've said the world will end. Any day now, the end is near. On this we could depend. In spite of that, we did our best to do the deed ourselves. Prepare your last farewells.
Living in a sewer's fine once you get used to the stench. Frogs will have 3 legs, which is okay if you're French. In God's plan, we threw a monkey wrench. We didn't have the cojones to act on the milestone. Apocalypse who, apocalypse how, apocalypse when. Apocalypse me, apocalypse you, apocalypse when. Come on, get it over for Christ's sake.
Jesus fuck!